I, all right. It looks like my headphones are not connected. Just give me 1 second. 1 second, 1 second. Okay, I think we're finally going. I had a little technical issue there, so I had to pause. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, Thanks for joining me today. I know the afternoon right after the holidays, there can be so much going on. Um, so thank you guys who have either called in or those of you who are joining me here in person or however, whatever the venue is that you're joining me today. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. So welcome to From Burnout to Balance and Brilliance, a solopreneur's guide to recovery or prevention of burnout. And the term burnout, I'll talk about a little bit more later because that's really not the correct term, but terminology is irrelevant. Really what we're looking for is some tools. So hi there. If we're meeting for the first time, my name is Kelly Yogurt. Kind of sounds like a little bit like yogurt. And I'm an author. I'm a transformational hypnosis coach. I'm a doctoral candidate. And I've been a holistic practitioner for over 35 years now. As a matter of fact, this is actually in my blood because my great grandmother was a granny healer as well. And I'm passing along holistic methods to pass them along to my daughter and my grandchildren as well. A little bit about me. I do have a clinical aromatherapy certification, clinical herbalist certification, and I'm NAHA level 3 clinical certified aromatherapist. And I've been practicing these things for like a bazillion years, it seems. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, a Reiki master, and because I'm a very passionate person and I love learning, I've also added in some breathwork certifications and some sound healing things as well. Just good to have tools, right? That's the thing with me. Do want to let you know that all of this that I will talk about today is for educational purposes only, and it's copyrighted by yours truly, Kelly Huger, and my website is mamakelly.com, www.mawkelly.com or kellyhuger.com. Either one of those will get you there. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my personal journey before I go into the tools and the techniques that I'd like to teach you today. So these two pictures are the one picture on the left was probably between 6 and 8 years ago, roughly. So I was actually younger in that picture. And then the picture on the right is probably last year, perhaps, somewhere through there. So fairly recent at the point. And I actually had a complete life crash. So I had a personal journey, unfortunately, through complex stress stemming from narcissistic abuse. I was practicing herbalist at the time. I had apprentices, I taught classes. It led to a complete and utter financial destruction, emotional destruction, like every which way you can pretty much think about. And and I had total, complete burnout. And I really began to have nightmares. I had nightmares for years. I never woke up feeling fulfilled. And I never knew what that was like until recently, obviously. And so for me, it was a very, very difficult time. So conventional medicine, while important in some cases, unfortunately, completely failed me. So I began to look for a natural method to reclaim not only my inner peace, but to be able to sleep at night, to be able to have nice dreams at night, to be able to wake up feeling energized and instead of exhausted. And so some of the tools that I have integrated and wrote in my book, From Lost to Living, Mind Body Medicine Approach to Reclaiming Your Happiness After Abuse, I want to talk about today, but obviously I can't talk about all the tools. So at the end of this presentation, this webinar, I'll give you links if you'd like to talk a little bit more about some of the tools I have available or to talk more intimately about your personal situation. I'll give you an opportunity to do that since there's no way I can talk about all the tools I've used in this short amount of time. So anyway, so now I wake up feeling happy. I wake up feeling fulfilled. I don't have nightmares anymore like I used to. I don't have migraines anymore. my stress levels, even though I'm in a doctoral program, are still not what they were when I was going through such torment, basically. And so now what I've done is I teach other people the same tools that I discovered that are all science based, right? No fads. I've never done fads, even when I was a clinical herbalist and saw clients then. I've never ever did fads, and I never will do fads. I'm known as the no fad zone. And of course, I'm not to brag, but I do have a 98% success rate. And so I'll share a couple of those tools. And I think one of the reasons why my success rate is so high is because not only do I share tools, but everything is so individualized. There's no cookie cutter, and I can also layer in aromatherapy and herbalism as well for those clients who want really a more holistic, transformational experience. So let's talk just a little bit about um, burnout for just a moment. And really, the term is allostatic load. So this picture to me was just like screened burnout, right? You're trying to survive, but everything is just sort of, kind of like, ugh, but you're really dedicated. So if you're really dedicated, which, if you're a solopreneur, you're an entrepreneur, business professional, whatever, you're probably very, very dedicated, but stuff's starting to dry up around you and you're starting to feel exhausted. So burnout is actually allostatic load, and it's a state of chronic physical and emotional exhaustion, excuse me. And it's often accompanied by feelings of detachment, cynicism, disassociation in the context of just feeling numb, a lot of anger outburst, emotional outbursts, things like that. There's a lot of different things. Your mind may be racing during the day, but you can't sleep at night, or you get the 3 p.m. slump, and you got to have a cup of coffee or whatnot, and you really feel like your brain is all over the place, like it can't settle in and just do a task. It's just everywhere. And so those are some of the signs and symbols to look for. That means burnout is coming on. And the thing with burnout is if we don't address it, we don't reverse it, it can actually lead to triggering chronic illness in the body, and which that as well is now another task to have to juggle and whatnot. So the idea here is think about a gauge, and all the way to the 10, all the way to the right is the gauges on the right, and 1 is all the way to the left, the gauges on the left. And for homeostasis, we want to be right in the middle, right? The 5. So we don't want to drain all the way out and be down to a 1. Because what happens is you're a 10 and you're like powering out, powering it out, powering it out, and then it starts to go all the way down to a 1. So we want to find some homeostasis. We want to find some balance, but we want to still be able to continue to do things we're passionate about. So that's what is so very important. And of course, I'm a solopreneur, so I know what this is like. If you're constantly juggling tasks, right? You have limited support. Sometimes your family may not even be supportive of what your drive and your mission is, and that can even make it hard. Or friends, potentially, sometimes that can make it even more isolating. And just the demands and the pressures of not only regular life, but trying to make it in your business, or not stretching yourself too thin, right? So that is something that is really, really a big problem for solopreneurs. Again, here's some more symptoms of this: mental exhaustion, like having trouble with focus, mental clarity, lack of creativity. If you used to be like, oh, so very creative, and you're not now, that can be a sign. Think of burnout as kind of like when you look at the dashboard of your car, and like one light comes on and you ignore it, then another light comes on, you ignore it, and then finally everything's lit up like Christmas in July on your vehicle. That's burnout. And if you keep ignoring each of those little things when they're popping in, then eventually the whole vehicle just stops. It's like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, you're going to walk now, sister, or whatever, because we're not doing this anymore. Right. So that's kind of the analogy that I'll use with my clients. So some physical symptoms may be, again, I had mentioned these earlier, sleep disturbances, insomnia, headaches, um, some weakened immune system, getting everything that was coming and going. That was one of the first signs in my case, and I didn't really know what it was, but I got everything coming and going. Then I started having memory issues. I remember my daughter was like, "You said that 3 times." Like, ooh. Then I started having chronic, really bad fatigue. I then found myself, on the floor for, and then an emergency room, and I didn't even know how I was for several hours. I was just completely and utterly exhausted. Um, and the bank was not getting refilled. Like, no, there was no deposits in my bank. It was just everybody dragging me everywhere and then basically gaslighting me on top of it. So not a fun situation for sure. So anyway, you're not as productive, right? Your productivity diminishes. You can't get going in the morning, or, you need 3 or 4 cups of coffee. Like, I'm on decaf. I get up at 5 a.m. I'm on decaf, and I get up, I get moving, and I can still do all the things. But that's not where I was several years ago. And I should have put a picture in here where I'd actually just hiked Diamond Head in Hawaii a couple years ago after doing a lot of this work. And I would have never thought I could have hiked Diamond Head in Hawaii. That's how important this work is, and that is how supportive it can be. So let me go ahead and give you some tips now. And of course, I see private clients. I also have a group program as well. And so I share a lot of these tools and tips with my group program and my private clients. Now, of course, when I'm meeting with my private clients, obviously everything is going to be very, very individualized. I'm going to, do an intake and make suggestions based on them. But in my group program, I just add a lot of different types of either aromatherapy, mind body medicine tool, herbalism, um, lacto-fermented foods to support the gut, right? A lot of different types of tools so that people can kind of choose what works for them and what they would like as well. And of course, then with the one-on-one clients, it's very, very, very individualized, obviously. So, but the two tools, say that 3 times fast. The two tools. Okay. The two tools that I want to talk about today is hypnosis coupled with aromatherapy. Both of them, the reason why I chose these two is because they both have a ton of peer-reviewed scientific research behind them. Not that herbalism doesn't, but it's harder with herbalism. Um, with peer-reviewed research. So these two have a lot of peer-reviewed evidence with them, and they work really well together synergistically. So when I'm doing self-hypnosis, I'll put on my diffuser, or I'll put a couple drops of something in a cotton ball next to me, or I'll run my diffuser at night, or I carry a nasal inhaler. When I was going through my life crash and I had anxiety, panic attacks, and depression, the whole thing, I carried a nasal inhaler. It was very helpful for me. So there's a lot of different ways we can use it, but these are the two that I like because they work so well synergistically. So let me just give you a tad bit of information about both of these. Um, with hypnosis, we have definite great benefits for stress reduction and mental clarity. Self hypnosis, I also teach my clients, and I do as well. But you can do self-hypnosis, it's great. It's also better suited to be led by somebody who is experienced because they can ask you the right questions and draw that information out of you and then use that information to help feed that back to you to help make some really huge transformational changes in wherever you're wanting to go. And so hypnosis really can benefit solo entrepreneurs because it can help them to relax, right? Help them to tap into self-care, help them to gain mental clarity, focus, help them to manage their day better, maybe even forward pace them to the perfect day of what they want, and then they can even make notes on how to integrate that, and furthermore, how to gain better income with hypnosis. And like, really, what does your business want to look like? So that's kind of the power of hypnosis. And then on the flip side, when we talk about aromatherapy, we're looking at huge with stress reduction, but we're also, hypnotherapy, or I'm sorry, aromatherapy can be so great because when we choose particular essential oils, some of those are great for focus. Some of them are great for nighttime and winding down. And some of them are really even great to help take you to that time where you're seeing that perfect day in your business, and you can choose your own scent to go with that. And so that every time you notice that scent, now you're anchoring in what you want to do. And now the subconscious mind says, this is where we would need to go, and this is how we will get there. So I kind of talked a little bit already about some of the hypnosis benefits. Consistency is key. I want to make sure that all of my clients know how to do their own recordings when we work together, and I teach them self hypnosis, and they can use their anger. We really want to really focus in on facilitating positive changes, right? With um, managing or with tools like breath work, right? With tools like self-hypnosis, with tools like hypnotic recordings. And since hypnosis was approved by the American Medical Association in the 1950s, we also know that this is legitimate way that we can utilize the magic of our brains. Basically, we only use about 5 to 8% of our brains. 92% is what most people call the subconscious mind or the unconscious mind, right? That part of your mind that's always recording all the time, right? And we can use that to our benefit. And so that's where, when I work with my private clients, we really get down to the nitty gritty. We really ask those deep, hard questions and pull that out. Like, what is it that you want? What are you looking for? And then how can we get you there? I also use one of the tools I also use with my private clients and in my group program as well is I am statements. I like really teaching my clients, and I talk about this in my group program as well, is to do those when you're in a natural trance-based state, which is in the morning when you first get up or before you go to bed at night, because now that's a natural trance time and you're utilizing the power of your brain with your positive affirmations, right? Your I am statements. And again, consistency is key. So here are a couple of essential oils that I thought I would share with you to potentially add to your self-care session, or, before you go to bed at night. Or sometimes I'll just take a bottle and I'll just put a couple of drops in the wall of my bathtub, not in my bath because oil and water don't mix, obviously, but on the wall of it. And it just kind of creates its own like steam aromatic spa. And that has really, really been helpful for me, especially like if I had something like a lung thing that's going on, or something that I really feel like I need to, but it's also, need to clear up. But also, it's just really, really great for reduction of stress, right? To relax. And you can even just like for just a moment, even if you're one of those people likes water, like like wherever you'd like to go for just for a moment, like just to close your eyes for a moment and go to a place, right, that has some water around it that's soothing for you. And just imagine smelling like your favorite flower, or you're just laying there. Okay, maybe you're laying on the beach, the water's hitting your feet, right? Or you're, floating in a pool, or you're in a beautiful spa, whatever. Allow yourself to go there for just a moment. I'll be quiet for just a moment while you do that. Now imagine smelling a rose or a bouquet of lavender flowers, something that you like. And you can really probably almost take yourself there in just these few moments, right? Like feel the water. If you're floating, like feel yourself kind of moving a little bit, or feel the sand, or feel the sun beaming down on you, or feel the bubbles of the water, right? Whatever that looks like for you. You can actually put yourself there. And if when you can't see it in your mind's eye, it doesn't make a difference. Like you can even pretend, right? And this is the benefit of using aromatherapy with hypnosis. So lavender's great. I love lavender because it can and it's one of the most researched as well, which is one reason why I chose it. Really can help to help you be more relaxed, also mental clarity, and it's so very, very versatile. And I used to teach essential oil safety class years ago. Probably should bring it back, but my time is limited. But it was one of the ones that I taught as the staple essential oil you should have on hand is lavender. So let's talk a little bit about chamomile. Now, I use two different types of chamomile, and I use both of them in a roll-on remedy that I developed several years ago when I got diagnosed with dysautonomia POTS. And so I began to use that roll-on remedy, and that was one of the tools that I began to use to start reducing my pot symptoms because I was in pretty bad shape at that time. And chamomile is great for that. And so I actually, it didn't have a fancy name or anything. I was like, I literally named it ANS Remedy. But it was so good. And I have that remedy recipe somewhere. It was just such a great recipe. And actually, I'm writing a book on dysautonomia of POTS right now. I'll put that in there. But it's so great because it can really, number one, it smells good. Like as long as you're not allergic to it, it smells great. And it's very tranquil. Like you just feel so relaxed. And it just will immediately bring to a relaxing place and just begin to ease that stress. So that is another one that I like as well. Now, I wouldn't probably combine those two personally, but some people might, and they may like the scent. Years ago as well, I used to make botanical perfumes and I used to sell those as well. And one of the reasons why I did that because it's aromatherapy, but in a way that's fun, and it's such a great way to uplift and have your aromatherapy with you all day long, right? Your botanical perfumes. So a couple more that I like, Bergamot actually did a perfume with bergamot. It was developed for somebody who was having some seasonal depression, and bergamot is very uplifting, but yet it still has some floral undertones. So it's really great to put in a diffuser. Also, it's been proven to reduce stress and anxiety and to also help mental alertness. And it is great for people who have like seasonal affectiveness disorder or, the winter blues, whatever terminology you like to use. Bergamot is great because it's almost like a little ray of sunshine in an essential oil. So I really love it. Probably one of my favorites as well. Giving you probably my top favorites. Vetiver is another one that I like. It's very grounding. I didn't put it in on this list, but it's very grounding. And it can be really great for those people who are up in the air too much and they need to bring themselves down to earth. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about rosemary. The one reason why I love rosemary is because with burnout, there's often mental fatigue. There's often lack of alertness, lack of focus, really having trouble like formulating things that either for your business or even, maybe writing up, whatever it is that you need to do, writing up like invoices, whatever that mental stuff, or it's maybe not either your zone of genius, or it's not your passion per se, is what I really should say, but the things you have to do. And so rosemary can really be great to help bring back some focus, bring back some mental acuity, and bring back some alertness as well. So that's one of the ones that I love. And of course, I grow rosemary as well. And if you don't like essential oils, some of these plants you can grow inside and just simply brush them as you walk by, and they will emit their aroma, right? And release that. And that can be something simple to do as well. So those are some of my favorites that I like, and I hope that you will try them and enjoy them as well. So now when I'm working with my private clients, and of course I talk about this in my group program as well, one of the things is really, really good is creating a routine. And so one of my clients I want to talk about, I'm going to call him John. He, entrepreneur, having a lot of burnout. One of the things that was important for him was to find a way to create a routine so that he could build these in, and it was actually soothing for him because he would know, oh, this is my self-care routine. This is the time for it. And it helped provide comfort for him as well. So I'm going to just talk about an easy routine that you can adopt if you like. And of course, you can massage this as what works for you. But let's talk about what that might look like. So step one is to create the scene, right? Paint the picture, create the scene. What does it look like? For me, like I said, I do a lot of, I love my bath. Like I have to have a bath. I just love it. That's for me would be one of the things I would do. So like maybe making your tranquil space. If it's a bath, okay, then maybe putting your diffuser in the bathroom, right? Adding your essential oil to a diffuser, even placing it on the cotton ball or putting a couple of drops on maybe a washcloth and setting it near. Don't use that washcloth because that would be too strong, but maybe just setting it near you so they can use, get the aroma. And then there you go. We have set the scene. Now, step two is to do some mindful breathing to really bring yourself back out of that chaos of the day. So I teach my clients something called 7-Eleven breathing. And I'm 53, so I know what a 7-Eleven is, but I know some younger people don't know what that is. So 7-Eleven kind of looks like this. Breathing in, and have a seat before you do this. And if you're new to mindful breathing, please sit down when you do this. Don't do this standing up at first. But breathe in for the count of 7. So breathing in through your nose. And then breathe out to the count of 11. So the idea here is to really lengthen that exhale. Now, right in the beginning, you may not have that number. That's okay. It might look like 5 on the inhale and 7 on the exhale, or 5 on the inhale and 8 on the exhale, whatever. In the beginning, start slow, but I love the 7-Eleven breathing, especially for people that do remember 7-Eleven because, you can think about it every time I see a gas station. Oh, I need to do my 7-Eleven breathing, or they can put it on their phone so easily because it's something that people remember. So anyway, do some 7-Eleven breathing or some diaphragmatic breathing, really inflating the belly. Imagine it really, really getting bigger. And then on the exhale, really drawing that belly in. I'm going to do a couple more of those. There's also an app that you can use. It's called Breathing App. So perhaps putting that on your phone, you can use that a few times, but really beginning to get yourself in this state. Now that you're there, now step 3 is to visualize, right? So you can begin to visualize on the inhale. It may sound completely different from you or, with you, but I sometimes will just breathe in peace and then breathe out joy. You might want to breathe in an I am statement. I am successful every time on inhale, or breathe out. I am calm. Whatever that looks like for you, rest is productive. So whatever this looks like for you, but breathing with your aromatherapy and then visualizing maybe yourself in a beautiful garden or in a sunny place or a favorite vacation spot, and either recording the I am statements or simply saying them out loud in between your breaths, right? Just get to a point where you're just breathing naturally and normally. After your mindful breathing, after step 2, breathe, do a few like that, and maybe just then breathe naturally and normally. Rest is productive, right? Rest is important. Self-care is important, like whatever that looks like for you, right? But you can just do this. You can just even spend 3 to 5 minutes a day, right? Very, very supportive, very, very supportive. Now, if you can do 15 minutes a day or do maybe 2, 3 to 5 minute sessions, like one perhaps in the morning, one perhaps before you go to bed, even better. But whatever that looks like for you, even short times can be very, very supportive. Now, I like to, take my bath. That's a lot of my self-care time. It's really self-maintenance, but for me, it's also self-care because I really will do these things, and I'll set up my my essential oil diffuser, or I'll use a nasal inhaler, or something like that. And I'll do these little I am statements, right? And I'm going to sit in there a lot longer than 15 minutes. But for me, that's a part of my wind down routine that says the day is over. It doesn't make any difference what happened. The day is over. There's nothing more I can do about anything. And now I'm just going to let go and go into the time of rest and restoration, right? Sleep. So this is so important. So, what are the benefits of a self care ritual? Well, of course, stress reduction, obviously, improved focus, better well being. And when you do this, especially if you're doing it in the night and in the morning, it can help you to create things that are really, really important in your business versus things that are wasting your time because you now have better clarity, better focus of what you really need to be doing, and you realize you are your business. So you need to support well-being because, God forbid you should crash, which I did. Now your business is not up and running. And that costs you money, which you don't want right now. You want to actually use this work to increase your income with doing less, which is a lot of the way that I help my private clients who are solopreneurs. Getting rid of limiting beliefs and then finding out what's important to them and then what do they want it to look like. And then we paint that picture and we put that back to them through hypnosis, right? With using aromatherapy to really help them to get major, major transformation. So, creating a supportive work environment for yourself goes a long way. I love my diffuser. So I keep one where I'm working, taking mindful breaks. I keep a timer on my phone. And after 90 minutes, I stop working. I have found, especially as somebody who's a solopreneur and in a doctoral program and sees clients, as well, I will not be productive if I just keep working. I have to take mindful work breaks. So I set my timer for about 90 minutes and then I take my mindful work break. That helps me to come back and be twice as productive, right? So that's what that looks like. Using your positive affirmations, either in a recording, using your essential oil diffuser. In my book, I talk about positive affirmations and I am statements, and I talk about that with power poses, which is actually something that I learned about when I was training my dog, who was very fear aggressive. I learned, and then I later learned it with martial arts, and I think now there's a book on it or something, I'm not sure. But I learned that, and it was so very, very life-changing to see what power poses can do for you. And they go really well with I am statements. And like you can put your diffuser right there, right? Or even smell something right before you do it and do those in the mirror. They really do make a big difference. Um, so I wanted just to give this testimonial from Gary, which was one of my previous clients. And he said, I just couldn't believe how small and steady changes like this can make a big difference in my focus and energy. Thanks, Kelly. You are amazing. Not to brag, but I have 5-star reviews on Google. I have 98% success rate. And it's just the power of our minds. It is the power of their minds. Your mind and their minds are so very, very powerful. And we're just tapping into that. That's all we are doing is tapping into that and making it work for you. Look, you're already, people are already trying to convince you to do things anyway, right? Like I tell people, I had one lady said, I've never been hypnotized. I said, have you ever been to McDonald's? And she said, yes. I said, you go through a drive-through? Did you go in? She said, no, I went to the drive-through. I said, you have the Big Mac? Or did you have the fish sandwich? No, 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 I had the Big Mac. I said, well, then you've already been hypnotized because that's not real food. And that's true. That's not real food. Those are food like substances. So we are being hypnotized day in, day out. If you've ever been in a complete panic attack and the bear is not chasing you, and I know I had panic attacks really bad. And I was diagnosed with PTSD, but no bear was chasing me. That is a form of self hypnosis. I don't say that to shame because that was me as well. But the idea here is if you can create that and the bear is not chasing you, then you can create the state that you actually want using your mind. And that's how powerful your mind is. So here's my cell. I give this. Give this to everybody. So it's out there. You're welcome to pass it along to your friends, neighbors, family, if you think that some of my work can be beneficial to them. And one of the hardest things, though, about my work is seeing people struggle for months and years and then coming back to me in the same place after spending a lot of money on things that simply don't work. Now, you can get back money for sure, but I had one client come to me, and this was probably about 7 years ago, and then she came back to me again. And, just, out of curiosity, I said, "What are some of the things?" She said, "I have spent $15,000 on things that is not working." And I said, "Okay, what do you want instead?" We had a long phone call. And then after working together, she was like, "I wish I had done this sooner." I mean, she knew about me, but she just wasn't sure. And she's like, "I wish I had done this sooner," because she said, "I got my results so much quicker without spending so much money that I have wasted time and money." So imagine for you not wasting time and money and unlocking the secrets, right, of life that is filled with energy, focus, success. And what if I told you that this transformation is not only within reach, but could also add income to your business, along with helping you to feel more relaxed, along with helping you sleep better at night, along with all the other things I mentioned as well. So I want to extend an offer to you. It's totally free. I want to extend an offer and an invitation to you. If you're really, really serious about waking up feeling energized, if you're serious about moving forward and really helping your business to move um, forward this year and double your income without having to work as much, I want to extend to you and ignite your inner power breakthrough sessions valued at $400. Again, it's totally free. I only take a few of these sessions um, a month because I am in a doctoral program, and I keep my client load small at this time. So get on the schedule. You can just simply copy this in, or you can text me 804-92-HYPNO, 804-924-9766, and I'll send you the link. But on our call, here's what we will do. We're going to discuss your unique situation. I'm going to share more tools that can benefit you. And then, if it would make sense for us to work together, I'll talk about what that would look like. And then, of course, if it doesn't make sense for us to work together, then I'll just simply share a resource for you, and allow you to move on about your way. Or if another practitioner is more suited for you, I'll be ethical in that as well and refer you to someone else. So you really don't have anything to lose. But this is the link. I would love to see you on the other side. If you are interested about the group program, if you're looking at this, you're like, "Oh, I'm interested in that group program that she mentioned," you can simply text me as well and just say, "Hey, I saw your webinar and you mentioned the group program, or I heard you talking about the group program on Facebook," whatever. And I'll send you information about that as well. You can also go to the website. It's www.kellyhugert.com or momallkelly.com. It's www.kelly with an I, Hugert, HUGHART.com, or momallkelly.com, almost Dr. Mamaw, MAW, Kelly with an I.com. So I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed day. And I look forward to seeing you on a call soon. Thanks so much.